On a cold February evening in 2004, 21-year-old college student Maura Murray vanished after crashing her car on a rural road in Haverhill, New Hampshire. When police arrived just minutes later, Maura was gone, leaving behind only a damaged vehicle and a series of baffling clues. More than 20 years later, her disappearance remains one of the most haunting and debated cold cases in American history. Was Maura running from something? Or someone? Or was her vanishing the result of a tragic accident? Let's explore what we know and what we may never fully understand. Maura Murray was a standout student and athlete from Hanson, Massachusetts. A star on her high school track team, she went on to study nursing at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. To most who knew her, Maura seemed bright, driven, and full of potential. But in the months leading up to her disappearance, things in Maura's life began to unravel. She had been involved in a series of troubling incidents, including using a stolen credit card, crashing her father's car just days earlier, and reportedly breaking down in tears during her job at the campus security desk. What was going on behind the scenes? And why did she suddenly decide to leave everything behind? That Monday, Maura emailed her professors, telling them there had been a death in the family and she'd be out for a few days. There was no death. She then withdrew $280 from an ATM, purchased alcohol at a nearby liquor store, and left campus in her black 1996 Saturn. Surveillance footage shows her alone. No signs of panic, just calm and methodical actions. She drove north for nearly 3 hours into rural New Hampshire, without telling anyone why or where she was going. Around 7:27 p.m., Maura crashed her car into a snowbank on Route 112 near Woodsville, New Hampshire. A nearby resident called 911 after hearing the impact. Another neighbor, a school bus driver, approached Maura and asked if she needed help. She reportedly declined, saying she had already called AAA. There was no cell signal in that area. I had never been contacted. When police arrived about 10 minutes later, Maura was gone. No footprints in the snow leading away from the crash. No sign of struggle. Her belongings, luggage, textbooks, and alcohol were still in the car. One detail stuck out. The driver's side windshield was cracked, and a red-stained rag was found in the trunk. What did it mean? No one knew. When Maura Murray vanished on the night of February 9, 2004, the initial response from law enforcement was limited. Believing she may have wandered off after the crash, officers focused their search on the immediate area around the accident site. That first night, no footprints were found in the freshly fallen snow, an eerie detail that puzzled investigators and haunted Maura's family.
It was make sure that we had done everything twice, and wanted to be able to come, for instance, and say to the family, we have searched this area extensively, and we have a very good feeling that we've done everything that we can do to assure that she's not in the vicinity of the crash site.
The next morning, the search intensified. New Hampshire State Police joined local authorities, and the area around Route 112 was combed by K-9 units, officers on snowmobiles, and ground search teams. Helicopters scanned from above, while volunteers, many from neighboring towns, searched by foot, despite harsh winter conditions and rugged terrain. But Maura had seemingly vanished without a trace. Over the next several days, more than 100 volunteers joined the effort, forming grid patterns to scour the woods. They searched old wells, outbuildings, and remote trails. Rivers and nearby ponds were checked, and divers were even brought in to scan underwater for clues. Nothing was found. Adding to the frustration, cell phone records revealed Maura had received a voicemail just before the crash, but the message was deleted before investigators could hear it. A potentially critical lead, lost forever. By the end of the week, the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department declared they believed Maura was no longer in the area. This controversial statement led to a reduction in search efforts and widened the gap between police and the Murray family. Fred Murray, Maura's father, was vocal in his criticism. He insisted authorities were not doing enough, accusing them of failing to preserve the crash scene and missing key early opportunities. Fred would go on to organize his own independent searches, hiring private investigators and using donated funds to continue the effort year after year. One of the most persistent efforts came from the New England Search and Rescue Team, who returned to the site multiple times over the years. In 2012, cadaver dogs hit on an area near a remote property just down the road from where Maura disappeared. Ground-penetrating radar later detected anomalies beneath the basement floor of a nearby home, but the property owner refused to allow a full excavation. Despite public pressure, police did not obtain a search warrant at the time, frustrating many who believed it could be a breakthrough. It wouldn't be until 2019, under renewed attention from podcasts and online advocates, that state police finally excavated the home's basement. But once again, nothing. No evidence. No remains. Just more questions. Over the years, hundreds of tips have been submitted. Psychics, false leads, and supposed sightings poured in, but none have led to Maura. Each tip gave the family a glimmer of hope, only to be extinguished again and again. To this day, Maura Murray is still listed as a missing person. Despite one of the most extensive and long-lasting searches in New Hampshire history, there remains no solid evidence of where she went that night or what happened after she left her car. Some believe Maura ran away voluntarily, possibly to start a new life. Others think she may have hitched a ride with the wrong person and met a darker fate. There are even those who suspect foul play by someone she knew. Online forums exploded with speculation. Every detail, no matter how small, was dissected. Why did she lie about the family death? Why head to New Hampshire? Was someone following her? Some have suggested she was pregnant. Others pointed to a possible mental breakdown. Maura's father, Fred Murray, has never given up hope. He has spent decades searching for answers, petitioning police, working with private investigators, and keeping her name in the public eye. In recent years, the case gained renewed attention thanks to podcasts, YouTube creators, and the Oxygen documentary series. Still, no major breakthroughs have been made. No confirmed sightings. No body, no crime scene. Just a college student who vanished into thin air. Maura Murray's disappearance is more than a mystery. It's a haunting echo of uncertainty. Was she running away? Or running for her life? Did someone pick her up that night? Or did she simply want to disappear? In the shadows of that quiet New Hampshire road lies a truth we may never uncover. If you have any information about Maura's case, contact the FBI or New Hampshire State Police. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to The Dark Enigma for more unsolved cases.